Hi there, how you doing? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again and I'm hitting the only card I've had requested so far, which came from one of my moderators on stream, and they asked me to look at Hope, Estheim, blue and, well, white and blue for a 2/2 human wizard with lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, each opponent mills X cards, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. I don't think I can ever remember two very distinct abilities and two colours being combined onto one card. Life is very much lifelink. Blue is very much mill. I have never seen them together on one card. If I've missed one, please let me know in the comments down below, because I'd love to know the card I've missed, because this just seems like a really fun way of upsetting your opponents. You're going to gain a whole load of life and mill them out. Yeah, we can do this. So here we go. Here's what my take on Hope is for today's video. Hope you enjoy it. But before I go any further, can I just say thank you to all the people who've subscribed to the channel recently. I really do appreciate it. There's 680 of us as I record this video today. I'd love it if this is your first time here, if you could hit the subscribe button as well. And for the people who turn up regularly, please, if you can hit the like button, hit the share button, leave a comment. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. I'm still trying to target, I'm hoping I'll hit the 1,000 by the end of 2025, but I'd like to get close. So if you can help out and do some of that for me, I'd really appreciate it. So that's it. That's the end of the begging for this week. On to the deck. So, lifelink. Life gain, sorry. We'll start at the beginning then. Leonin Vanguard is a bit of a no-brainer, really. You automatically gain a life at the beginning of combat on your turn. So as long as you've got Hope and Leonin Vanguard and one other creature out, yeah, that's definitely one card everyone's milling. Mother of the Runes is here just to protect us a little bit, or protect Hope when we have Hope in play. Oscillate Pride also comes in, gives us some tokens. We like the lifelink. We love the Ascend ability. Let's get some more cats on the go and have some fun. We've got the traditional life gain cards coming up in white now. So we've got Soul's Attendants here and Soul Warden. Ajani's Pride Mate might as well be in. We're going to be gaining life. We might as well try and make a big cat soldier while we're at it, because the Impassioned Orator lets us gain life when creatures we control enter, along with the Life Creed Duo. And the Suture Priest has some upside. Creatures enter under our control, we gain a life. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, they lose a life. Yeah, okay. I'll cope with that plan. Sounds good to me. Voice of the Blessed is a no-brainer again. Eventually we'll get there and get the 10 counters on it and make it indestructible flyer. Anafenza, Unyielding Lineage, is also in as well, because, you know, when our creatures die, we might as well get another creature come into play and hopefully gain some life that way. Heliod of the Sun Crowned chucks around lifelink quite happily to all our creatures and makes our creatures bigger. Core Celebrant just gains us even more life. And the Ortlek and Matter Weaver seemed like a bit of a no-brainer. We're going to be casting creature spells a lot. If we've got one of the ways of gaining life in play, we can cast this, cast a creature spell, get a token of a gnome, get another life, so on and so forth. You know the score. We just want to make sure we're hitting that life gain every turn. Resplendent Angel also helps this, but this is the beginning of each end step. We gain 4 more life, 5 or more life, which is doable with the Soul's Warden and the Soul's Attendant in play. And then a little bit of fun. Now, the Mind Skinner is not something you would normally see in a deck like this from me. 3 blue mana in a monocolour, or in a monocolour deck is fine. 3 blue mana in a dual colour deck, or anything above that, tricolour, so on and so forth. Bit more complicated. However, we are trying to win by milling out our opponents, and this does give us a way of doing that, because yes, it prevents all the combat damage, but milling the cards instead, gaining our life, milling cards. Yeah, okay, cope with this plan. Sounds good to me. Zelix, the Sanity Flare, is also here, because we might as well have this in to get some black horror creature tokens and have a way of milling cards if we need to from someone. Adrana, Sky Dreamer, come on. If it ever shows up. There we go. Whenever we draw our second card each turn, we get Drake, and then if we draw our 5th card each turn, the Dreamers and Drake gets +X with another card in our hand. Basically, we're going to try and draw an additional card every so often. Not that often, but we might do, especially if someone casts something to help us out. But, you know, Benny Brax kind of helps out. If we create a token, we get a second card draw, so, you know, they kind of work. Beezer does as well. Hopefully it gives us a card draw when people have got more cards at hand than us. Mondrak, Glory, Dominus also makes an appearance because we are creating tokens at the end of the day, so we might as well try and double up on them by sacrificing them off and putting the indestructible counter on here as soon as possible is always a way to upset people. Mariel, Shield of Argive is just lovely because of the tokens it creates. Likewise, Trin, Champion of Freedom. At the beginning of end step, if you attack this turn, you get Soldier. Yeah, okay then. I'll cope with that. Ignore the fact that Silvar Devourer of the 3 can't be in the deck because it's black and red if I remember correctly. But, 3/3 for 4 mana that lets you have an extra token every turn. Yeah, I'll cope with that. Archangel of Thune is a bit of a no-brainer. We want to gain life. When we gain life, we get to chuck around +1/+1 counters on all our creatures. Defiler of Faith makes an appearance as well. Reduces the cost. We pay 2 life, but we're gaining life, so we should be okay to pay 2 life to reduce the mana, and then get 1/1 soldier tokens, which again trigger our life gain. Shabres, the Sky Shark, also makes an appearance from the Ikoria Commander decks. Braylon can't be here, but this can be. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on here and gain a life. Yeah, okay then. And then give one of our humans flying. Yeah, side effect bonus, but, yep. Life gain, card draw, when we do it, that's fine. Bigger creature, I'm happy with that plan. The Dreamcaller also makes an appearance. Whenever you draw a card, it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn, and whenever it attacks, draw a card. Okay then. And then we get discard a card to give it hexproof until the end of turn, but we do tap it when that happens. And final creature in the deck, the Overlord of the Mistmalls, because, just another way of creating tokens that we can hopefully go in with and gain some more life. So, fine by me. Sorceries, very simple. Server Exhibition for some tokens. Fractured Sanity, so we can make all of our opponents mill 14 cards. Again, triple blue, bit complicated, but we'll work it out, I'm sure. For the Emperor, comes in from 40k land, gives all our creatures +2/+2 vigilance and lifelink to the end of turn. So basically, this is kind of like a bit of an alpha strike. If all your creatures suddenly get lifelink, you're going to gain a whole load of life. And as long as Hope's in play, people are going to mill a whole load of cards at the end of your turn. Bond of Discipline also does that as well, but this is slightly better. It taps all creatures our opponents control and gives all our creatures lifelink. So we'll be dealing them damage or we'll be milling them out if we've got the big boy in play. But at the end of the day, more life gain, hope in play. Yep, okay, more cards milled by everybody. Thank you very much. 3 instants, the Grand Crescendo to give us a whole load of creature tokens if we need them and make all our things indestructible if we need that to happen. A Chroma's Will just gives us a way of doing a big alpha strike if we need to. And then Tenacity, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain lifelink until the end of turn and untap those creatures. Again, a very nice way of making sure we've got enough life gain going on to ensure that we can trigger Hope quite happily. Artifacts. Mox Tantalite, Elixir of Immortality. Although I usually say, shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. Yep, that's still the same with this. But gaining 5 life means 5 cards milled. So play this on 3 mana. As long as Hope's in play, play it, sack it. Even if you've got nothing in your graveyard to shuffle back in, you might as well gain the 5 life and start milling everybody. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Azorius Signet for a bit of a change. And then we've got the Folio of Fancies, so no one has a maximum hand size. Make everyone draw their cards. And then, we can, each opponent puts the number of cards equal to the number of cards in their hand from their graveyard, from their top of their library into their graveyard. Yeah, okay then, we can make people mill. That's fine, no problem. Ether Siphon also comes in, 2 and draw a card. When we get max builds, whenever we draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. So a little bit of additional mill from the Ether Siphon here. And then Aetherflux Reservoir, just to give us another way of winning the game and gaining some extra life if we need to. We might as well have this in play to gain the life as we cast our spells, so it seems like a bit of a no-brainer. The 2 new cards I've included are the Water Crystal, so cuts the cost of our blue spells by 1, and if an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many cards +4 instead. And then you can pay 6 mana, 4 and 2 blue. Each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in our hand. That seems quite nice. And then we also had the Wind Crystal come in as well. Cuts the cost of our white spells by 1. And if you gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. And then we can pay 2 white and 4 to give all our creatures flying and lifelink till the end of turn. Yeah, okay then. That just sounds quite scary. Especially if we're going to gain twice that much life. Yeah. Alamorat's Archive also makes appearance. Extra card draw, extra life gain. That's fine. Enchantments, well, usual ones again for a life gain deck. Ajani's Welcome, Authority of Consuls, Cleric Class. The Griffin makes an appearance to give us some flying griffins. Abiding Grace makes an appearance because we can basically at the beginning of our upkeep each turn gain a life or bring back one of the soul attendants or soul wardens if it's been killed off. So yeah. Aligned Heart is just a little bit of fun. I still think this card's fun. Second spell each turn and get a rally counter, and then we get monk tokens equal to the number of rally counters. It's worked a few times for me, but I still like playing it, so it's going to turn up in white decks for a while going forward, I feel. Court of Cunning is just fun. Another way of milling our opponents, and the extra card draw from being a monarch for a little while is always good. Memory Erosion, whenever an opponent casts a spell, they mill 2 cards. Makes you probably very unpopular thinking about it, but still, yeah, we'll go with that. Muster the Departed enters the battlefield. You get to create a 1/1 flying spirit token, and then if you've got Morbid, so a creature died this turn, you get to populate. So you get to make more copies of your tokens. Yep, okay, I'm happy with that plan. Thank you. Angelic Accord, gain 4 more life. Each end step we get full 4 Angel. Court of Ardenvale just gives us a way of returning a permanent card mana 3 or less from our graveyard to our hand, and if we're the monarch, it goes onto the battlefield. The Court of Grace gives us a spirit each turn, so that'll trigger our life gain, and if we're the monarch, we get an angel instead, which will still trigger our life gain, but is a better blocker. And the Court of Vantress, yeah. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose up to 1 other target enchantment or artifact. If you're the monarch, you get a copy on it. If not, you may have the Court of Vantress become a copy of it, except it has this ability. Yeah, okay then. Shark Typhoon makes an appearance to give us all those nice sharks as we cast our non-creature spells. True Conviction just is stupid. Double strike and lifelink on all our creatures. Thank you very much. Let's see how much life we can gain in 1 turn again. And then, yeah, probably a bit too expensive. Probably not going to be something people are going to want to play in the deck that often. But I just like Legion loyalty, so it had to go in. I figured if we've got this and this in play and we attack with a few creatures, we're going to have a fun time, basically. Lands is 37. I will point out that one of the new cards from Final Fantasy I've included, which is the Adventurer's Inn, because it comes into play and gives you 2 life, so triggers hope. Then it just taps for colourless, which is fine to all intents and purposes. Nothing wrong with that. The rest of it is all the normal blue and white lands, and he said green there for some reason. I'm obsessed with green, sorry. The blue and white lands, all the ones you'd expect to see in the deck as things go through it, and they're all here. I will point out we've got Maruko in here, Centre of the Sea, helps do that little bit of extra card draw. If people bounce everything, Reliquary Towers here, along with Temple of the False God. Yeah. Oh, and Tranquil Grove, because that does give us a life, and if we play that when Hope's in play, it's another way of just getting an uncounterable mill on the go, assuming Hope's still in play at the end of our turn. But that's it. That's my take on Hope Estheim today. I have to say, when I first started planning this deck out at the start of this week, there were literally 0 decks on EDH Rec for Hope. I've seen they've popped up to 186 now, so people are starting to think about it a little bit more. So, yeah, I just did off the top of my head what I like with life gain and mill stuff. So, hey hum, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I hope you've enjoyed the deck. I hope you've hit the subscribe button. And I'll be back next week with some more of the Final Fantasy Legends that I'm turning into Commander decks. So thanks for watching. Take care. I will say one little thing. If there is a card you want to see that I haven't covered yet here on the YouTube channel, please leave me a comment down below and let me know. I am going through them all, but I think the last time I checked, there was over 100 new legends coming in. Some of them are turning up in some of the decks as we go along. 100 new legendary creatures, I should say. Some of them are turning up in decks, so I won't cover them. But if there is one specific one I haven't covered yet that you want me to see covered, please let me know down below, and I'll get it covered, because we're going to have a lot of these going for a while. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.